Noonie here. I wanted to bring you the next story snacks. And I wanted to also say happy Sunday. I know that's kind of an incongruous thing to say right now. There's a lot going on in the world. I hope you are managing to stay warm wherever you are. And thought I would give you a little fiction, a little Noonan Wilder magic. This is our ritual where I read a little fiction, share a little magic, and invite you into the worlds that we're building. Last week, I read the second part of Bird in the Hand, a Silas and Knox short story set in the same universe as our upcoming novel, As the Crow Flies. We left off right after Silas wins a blue stuffed bear for Knox in one of the carnival games. And today we're picking up right where we left off, with Silas and Knox heading for dinner, only to be interrupted. Knox grabbed the blue stuffed animal from him and clutched it to his chest. You deserve a reward. Knox leaned close and kissed him. A passerby made a scoffing noise, and Knox whipped around inhumanly fast. His raven made a harsh croaking noise of anger that caused the older couple to rush away. Silas rubbed his palm on Knox's lower back. Easy, hun. It's okay. Let's find something to eat. I've worked up an appetite. Knox cut his hand again. Hope it takes more than that. Well, for now, while we're in public at least. He pointed with his free hand. Looks like the food trucks are over there. I did a search on the carnival on the way here, and the website claims to have award-winning pizza here. That sounds good. Let's do that. They wandered for a bit more, chatting about their summer experiences. Silas spotted the sign for the food vendors and angled toward it. Their way forward was blocked by Knox's friends. Silas's heart sank. He liked exploring the carnival with just Knox. The guy in front, Timothy, raked over them with a glare that made Silas's inner crow stir with alertness. What the fuck, Knox? Are you slumming now? Knox let go of Silas's hand and stepped slightly in front of him, protecting him. Don't push it, Timothy. His voice came out low and dominant. Silas had no idea he had it in him. Yeah, but with Selassie? Fuck, we leave you guys alone for an hour and you hook up? Silas flushed. His name was nothing like the Ethiopian emperor's name. Before he could say anything, though, Knox was on it. I knew you were slow, Timothy, but even you know Silas's name. Besides, why do you give two shits about who I'm with? You've made it clear the only thing interesting about me is my cousin because of his wealth and influence. Stephen stepped forward. Silas knew him from several classes, and he could be a real asshole. He was species proud and didn't bother to hide it. Silas heard rumors that he picked on the smaller students and anybody without strong clan ties. So what? You're dating this guy now? He's not even one of us. So what if I am, Stephen? Knox stepped toward him. What the hell do any of you care about it? It's one thing to mess around with this crow. It's something else to think that this is something serious. Stephen actually seemed puzzled by it, making Silas's insides burn with anger. Knox snorted. Well, considering your one and only dating experience is your left hand, you really don't have a leg to stand on to tell me how to handle my life. Stephen went white and stepped forward. Dane, the tallest of the four, but skinny, grabbed his arm. Dude, we're in public. Wrenching his arm free, Stephen stood there but didn't continue his advance. I thought we came to hang out together, Dane said in a reasonable tone and turned to Knox. That's why you brought it up. I asked about the carnival because I wanted to get Silas alone. You all invited yourselves. He narrowed his eyes and faced off with Dane. You need to figure out how you're getting back, because you're not driving. Terrence, standing behind the other three, snorted. He can ride with us. Dane glanced at Knox. Just go. Knox turned and took Silas's arm in a gentle grip. He pulled Silas away, walking straight out toward the cars. Silas glanced over his shoulder to make sure they weren't following. It's all right. Knox murmured. They're not going to actually start anything here in public. Dane's dad is one of our enforcers and would kill them if they made a scene. I'm sorry, Silas told him. Don't you apologize. Knox pulled him to a stop and they stared at each other. Knox stepped into Silas's space and slid his hand along Silas's cheek. You don't have a single thing to apologize for. Silas really wished they weren't in a public carnival. Let's go back to my place, Knox said. He held up the stuffed toy. We can put the bear in my dorm room and you can help me find the perfect spot for it. Silas tried not to laugh out loud. In your room? Yeah. The laugh that came out of him, despite his best efforts, sounded loud. My God, Knox, I thought you had better game than that. Knox reddened. Come on. Silas slid his hand into Knox's, and they walked that way all the way back to Knox's SUV. They pulled out onto the road, and Silas's stomach reminded him Silas's stomach reminded him that they had been on the way to eat. What do you want to do about food? Knox grunted and pursed his lips. Good point. We were on our way to do that. He cleared his throat and looked sheepish. Well, in my head, I planned the date, but I didn't get this far. Silas resisted the urge to grin at the man since he had wanted to date Knox and wasn't sure it was reciprocated. But where to go? They could stop at the burger place near the highway, but it wasn't really set up for dine-in, and eating in the car just didn't appeal to him. Well, I have some snacks in the back if you can stand to wait, Knox offered. My favorite Chinese place is in Bellevue, about halfway between here and campus. What do you think? Chinese food, huh? I could go for that. Silas turned in his seat to retrieve the bag. He popped the tin of nuts open and also pulled out a bottle of water for each of them. They both munched some of the nuts and the scenery flashed past. Traffic wasn't bad, thankfully. It could be a real mess on the highway, but they were lucky. Silas glanced at Knox and then turned a little sideways in his seat so he could lean against the back of it and still see. I'm sorry about your friends. They're not my friends, exactly. He shrugged. They like me for my cousin, but it's not real friendship. That sounds lonely, Silas said before he thought. Good one. Make the guy feel bad, why don't you? I don't mean anything by that. No, you're not wrong, Knox shrugged. Dane's all right. That's why I let him come in the car with us, but the others are kind of assholes. I think Timothy is homophobic, Silas admitted. No question. His dad's a piece of work. He's been a problem for our clan for a long time. He's loud, he drinks too much, listens to a bunch of political podcasts with garbage about business and stuff. I think Tim picks on the smaller kids. He's never done it around me, and that's probably because of my cousin more than anything else. He flashed a look at Silas. Also, I've never dated in front of him before. Well, I have a question. Who's your favorite basketball team? Knox's eyes grew round. You have got to be kidding me. Silas flushed. What? I like basketball. No, I mean, you're from Portland and you're asking me who my favorite team is? My dad would probably murder me if I picked another team. Silas laughed. So Seattle's your favorite team? Knox spluttered and stopped for a moment. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say favorite or something. I mean, yeah, historically they're the best. My dad's team moved to Oklahoma, but he trailed off. Knox tongue-tied was better than anything he could have anticipated. They cheerfully argued back and forth about sports until the exit for Bellevue appeared, and Silas looked around. That was fast. We made good time. Knox hit the blinker and navigated over to a little place nestled in a strip mall between a high-end furniture store and some kind of financial services place. I know it doesn't look like much, but trust me, it's really good. They hardly speak any English. Best places are the ones the native people of that cuisine like, Silas said. Come on, my treat. Knox scrambled out and followed Silas. Silas slowed his steps so they could walk side by side and then held the door for Knox. Silas had fun ordering with him, and they got a lot of appetizers to make up the meal, as well as some wonton soup, Silas's favorite. It turned out Knox adored spring rolls, so they got extra. The place wasn't that crowded since it was early for the dinner rush, so they found a booth along the back wall. The interior was done all in red and black, but it was obviously a family restaurant with fun mobiles hanging from the ceiling. And what was with the huge mounted fish? Silas bet there was a story connected to that. A young woman with a long black braid came by with a loaded tray a few minutes later. When she left, they both dived in. They'd been in the car for a while, and with the shifter's metabolism, Silas was starving. He moaned around a savory mouthful. The flavors just exploded in his mouth, and he was sure his tongue was doing a happy dance. Knox paused, chopsticks hovering in the air. Damn, that was quite a noise. Silas swallowed and stared at him. He couldn't think of anything to say. Knox snort laughed. Silas huffed and wadded up his napkin to throw it at him. That just made Knox laugh harder. Silas couldn't help joining in. It took them a few minutes to calm down. Just to clarify, we are dating, correct? This isn't a one-off? Silas took a sip of the drink as he waited for Knox to answer. Nerves danced in his stomach. And that's where I'll stop for today. Silas has finally asked the question that's been simmering under the surface all afternoon. And next week, we'll pick up right here and see how Knox answers and what that means for the rest of their night together. If you're enjoying Bird in the Hand, you're in good company. Rachel and I are preparing a special edition of the full story as a gift for our newsletter subscribers. It's not quite ready yet. Covers and formatting take a little time. But if you're on our list, you'll get it the moment it's finished. The link is in our bio on YouTube. Thank you for spending part of your Sunday with me. If you like today's episode, feel free to like, comment, or share it with someone who loves queer romance, corvid shifters, or just a little sweetness for the weekend. I'll see you next weekend for the rest of Silas and Knox's date.